What I always say to people, if they're going to design their place, I said, nothing has to always match. Like, pick pieces of things that you really, really love, and you can make it work in your place. You can bring it all together through accessories, through decor pillows. Like,
fellow listeners of all kinds from all industries. I'm Jenny Woon.
I'm Tony Singh.
And you are on In the House podcast. We have a very special guest today, and I've been working with her for years. And we have Andrea Foxman. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thanks. Well, you are the owner and founder of Home Ingredients and Social Ingredients. Before I get into that, it's primarily staging and furniture rental business, and you've been doing it for 12 years. So I'm a big fan. You know me, I'm always recommending your service to my clients. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, we actually, and I just got reminded today that it's going to be 15 years next week. So I was even off. I'm like, 15 years? What? I didn't think it was that long. So yeah, 15 years in business. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I started Home Ingredients 15 years ago with the passion of just always being so passionate about home decor and design. Prior to that, I was in the film industry for 12 years. I had my own agency. And when I sold that, I took a couple of years off and sort of put my feet into different classes and tried different courses. And as I was learning more about design, I realized there's this new thing called home staging. I was like, what is that? And so I did a little bit of research, and I found this company called CSP, which is Canadian Staging Professionals. And they just happened to be going to be in Vancouver literally 3 days after I contacted them. And it was like a 3-day course on, I wouldn't say it's learning how to start a staging business is basically what it was all about. So I took the course and I found it fascinating. I was like, this is really interesting. It's a combination of design and staging, but I don't have to go and get another full degree in a design course. I can take styling classes and I can sort of learn a little bit about this. And then I realized at the same time that there was an opening for, having rentals, because I was asking my instructor, I go, well, where do stagers rent furniture? Where do they get it? How do you start this? She said, well, that's a good investment and an idea for you if that's where you want to sort of head in that direction. I think that's a great idea. So that's sort of how it all sort of came about, just randomly finding this, what staging was. Literally did the course 2 or 3 days later, and then and that's where it all began.
Wow, it seems like
That's
a lifetime ago.
Great history, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a lifetime ago, and it took a while. I mean, I sort of, because the 3-day staging course doesn't really teach you how to stage, it sort of teaches you how to build your business. Then I had to go and try to find somebody that I could mentor and sort of get some hands-on experience. And there wasn't a lot at that time, and so I decided, well, why don't I focus on the rentals and open up the rental side of the business, and that way I'm going to be able to meet the people that I need to meet, and sort of build up a community of friends and fellow stagers. And so as I did that, that's how I met people, and that's how I learned. And I literally learned by just learning from others, and just every year it got better, and every year I did a little bit more research, did a little more studying, took a little more classes. And for me, it was just a natural progression because I just loved it so much that it came naturally to me. But that's how it started.
Andrea, you have an amazing, vibrant energy. I'm curious, you're welcome. I'm curious, what's your spirit animal?
Oh,
If you were to pick one.
I would say that I'm the crazy cat lady. But my spirit animal, I don't know. I'm gonna stick to a cat. That's gonna be my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Maybe a lioness.
Yeah.
As opposed to a domestic cat.
Yeah, yeah. We actually have a little fun this or that game, and just say what's. It doesn't matter what the explanation is, just whatever comes to mind. Okay, fake plants or real plants.
Fake only because I have a black thumb, but I prefer real.
Fake fruits or real fruits in a basket.
Oh, real fruits, 100%.
Gender specific bedrooms or gender neutral bedrooms?
I would say neutral, but occasionally it's nice to be a little specific gender, just to be playful.
Table settings or no table settings.
No table settings.
Oh.
Okay. Queen bed pushed up against the wall or a twin bed centered with a desk in the room?
Well, I would say the standard would probably be queen bed centered in the wall. Unless we were focusing on a family home, then I would definitely go with twin bed and a desk.
But the queen bed is pushed against the wall. It's not centered in the wall, in the room.
Oh no, it must be centered.
There's no room for it. The door won't close.
Oh, then we might, maybe we can move down to a double and one side table.
There you go. Solution oriented.
Problem solver. These are the questions that, my developer always asks me. So that's why I wanted to get your take on it. Well, why don't we dive deep into home ingredients? How did you come up with the name? And then how did social ingredients come out of that as well?
Okay, the name. People always ask me that, and it's funny because I would say that was probably the hardest thing about starting the business was coming up with the name. And I had to do that previous to my other business. But it was literally just, trying to figure out, using the word home and staging and then, looking through pictures. And it just, I don't know, I think it was probably over a couple glasses of wine. And I was like, oh, home ingredients in the home. That's it. And it took a while, but I finally got there. And as soon as I heard it out loud, I was like, that's it. And then I stopped. I go, that's the one. And then I had to Google and make sure nobody else had the name. And I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. And then social ingredients, which is the event part of our business, just came from home ingredients. I was like, well, this is more of a social part of the business and the rentals. And that's where that came from.
I love the names.
Yeah, it's very fitting. What's the size of your company now? I know I believe my first time I've hired home ingredients was probably at least 8-9 years ago. So today, what does that look like?
Today we have 18 employees. We have a 15,000 square foot warehouse, which we're busting out of the seams in. And yeah, that's where we're at today. Started off with me and a newborn baby and a Bjorn going, hey, putting up photos and pictures to then 2 people, then 3, and then 4, and then it just all of a sudden, over the years it grows and it gets to that.
Do your kids help you now at all while you're running the business?
No, my daughter, I tried to get in here to make some money for herself, but she just gets right on the computer and does nothing. So, but she's very interested in it. She's only 12 and she loves it. And I try to get her involved in it. And if I'm going shopping for stuff, I'll bring her with me. I'll say, what do you think? Do you like which pillow should we pick? So I tried to get her involved because she is very interested in it, but she's still only 12. So she's just into the TikToking right now and doesn't care.
Of course. What kind of clients do you typically service?
We service a lot of realtors. I would say the majority of our clients are realtors. We also service homeowners. We service relocation companies. We service film industry. And we service other home stagers and designers because of our rental business. We are open to that, and so we service them as well.
I would probably say, as a realtor myself, I'm always consistently pushing furniture, like staged furniture, to be in one of my listings. And often it comes with a cost, obviously. So what is that, like, how do you calculate the cost? Is it the number of items that are being rented out, the amount of time that you have to put the pieces together. So walk us through when someone gives you a floor plan, and then how do you decide how to quote from there?
So when we are given a floor plan, and this is based on a vacant property, we look at the amount of rooms and we look at the size of the scale wise. So if it's a 1 or 2 bedroom, it's, we have a number that we do for the living room, and then we have a number that we do for the bedrooms, and then we have a number that we do for the kitchen. So we have sort of like a little menu plan that we sort of just cross off and check. So it's based on the amount of furniture, and it's based on the scale of the space. And that's how we come up with the rental aspects. And then we have our services, which is based on the amount of hours it would take to pull the project, install the project, and destage the project. And then there's the moving cost as well.
Right. And then the takedown as well. Or is that already all included? Okay. Okay. I guess that you have to learn that. I mean, you would have to figure that out once you do a few, like a good dozen at the beginning of the business, and you kind of figure out, okay, how many hours does it take to pull something off the shelf? And
exactly. I mean, people don't realize how much time and effort it takes to do all of that. And so we know that a 1 bedroom should, take us, let's say 2.5 to 3 hours to source, and then we have to pack it, and then it has to get there, and then we, it takes 2 or 3 hours to do the installation, and then it takes a couple hours to destage it. So we have to count all that into the overall expense of what it costs to stage. Yeah.
How do you stay ahead of the business? Like, there's so many competitors out there.
There are, our at the very beginning, I had a different outlook. I was thinking, I need to reach, as many people as I can. And as the business grew, I realized that it's about a community, and it's about building relationships, and just focus in my lane, and know that, we sort of consider ourselves as sort of a boutique style staging company where we have, high-end quality pieces. We do high-end quality work. And, I know that there's always going to be people that have quotes that are less than mine, and there's might be people that have quotes that are more than mine, but I try not to focus on that. I try to focus on building a relationship with realtors and the community, and just sort of focus on that.
What's the best education or experience that a home stager, should have, maybe to get a head start in the industry?
Well, I would definitely say trying to get some hands-on experience. Definitely, like, I have a lot of students that come to me that are graduating from school, or they'll do like a summer, intern sort of thing where they can come and get the hands-on experience. For me, that is the best experience because, there are not a lot of staging. I know a lot of institutions are sort of building it up, and when you go to design school, they do talk a little bit more about staging, and it is different than design in the sense that we don't have to worry about every single, little square space. We're selling a lifestyle, and it's not custom to someone's specific needs, so it's easier in that sense. But definitely hands-on. Start with your family and friends, and see if that's something that you like to do. Like, that's a great way to do it. I would say, and maybe sort of look for a particular niche that you want to do. Maybe you want to do just consultations. Maybe it's something that you like to go into homes that are occupied, and, you kind of do a room by room analysis on how they can prepare their house for sale. Maybe that's, working with an organizer to get you started, because they do a lot of the decluttering part of it. So there's lots of ways to sort of get your feet started, but definitely start small, because doing a full service job like what I have, it requires a lot of money to get started, and I think that you don't need to. I didn't start this big either. I started relatively small, but start small. Reach out to people that are in the industry, ask the questions that you want to ask, get involved in the community, and see if it's something that you like, and then you will see that a lot of us in our community, we're very open to, meeting new stagers.
Just curious then as well, because obviously the last couple of years have been interesting for everybody. Did you guys in your business notice a change, like maybe a shift even in your clientele for the type of client you were dealing with new listings possibly using other methods like virtual staging, because it was difficult to sometimes get access to certain spaces. Did you notice the shift? And if so, were you guys kind of working with more clients that were living in their homes and just wanted to beautify their own spaces rather than getting something ready for market?
Yeah, I would say it was a combination of both. During the last 2 years during COVID, especially when people didn't, we weren't really wanting to go into people's homes, we switched over to Zoom or FaceTime, and we would walk through and sort of do it that way, and it actually was way easier for us in the sense that we didn't have to spend the time driving to and from locations and doing all that stuff, and it was just as effective doing it through virtual. And the ones that we do, which are the majority, I would say 75 to 80% of the stages that we do are vacant, so we didn't really have to worry about having too many people in a place. We wore our masks and we were still able to work through that. The virtual reality part, I definitely, I see how it has its place for sure, because it gets people to the door, and people, their first impression is the online MLS listing, and so you need to sell them right away to get there. But the problem is that I've found, talking through a couple of realtors, is once they get there, then that follow through is not there. Then they walk into this empty space, and that experience has been lost. So I kind of you kind of can think about it as like online dating. This guy could be 6 foot tall and brain surgeon, and then he shows up for coffee and he's nothing like what he says. So
you're catfishing.
I'm catfishing.
That's so true.
So it's sort of that excitement if you see it and it's virtual, and then you get there and it's not. It does get the realtors through the door, and I understand it's a less expensive way, but they realize that once they get there, then that's lost. It's not what they expected, and so it's that whole experience from start to finish that you want to bring your clients into, and that's what is the most effective for, I believe, us and the realtors, is to have that experience.
Have you found that the number of days the house is on the market, which is very low, could be 4 days on the market, that it has kind of affected your business at all, or did you kind of shift to work with another type of client?
In terms of just, through the years, depending on the market, we have gone through doing, we would just mostly houses, and then we shifted to condos, and now we're shifting to townhomes and more condos, and now the housing market's back. So it varies, as you know, through the real estate market, and the trends. It varies, but I would say that more so in the last year, it would be, we were doing more condos and townhomes.
Interesting.
Okay. What's the toughest part about the home staging business?
Well, the toughest part for us right now is just the access to the furniture shortage. Like, it is crazy. And, when it's really busy, I really depend on our suppliers to be able to get the stuff that we need. And just since COVID, everything has been back ordered. And so for us, that has been a challenging thing. Another, particularly for our business, because we have thousands of items in our inventory, is just managing that inventory, managing it coming and going. And in terms of, the actual staging aspect, I would say the hardest thing for us is to say no, because, we never want to say no. We always want to say yes to everybody and try to manage everybody's expectations. But sometimes the turnaround is tough. We'll go in and we'll do a quote, and then they want it done, in 2 or 3 days, and we're just busy, and the amount of times sort of managing the expectations can be sometimes challenging, but we always seem to manage to get it done. So
what would be your top tip your top tip that you could offer to somebody who would want to start their own home staging business?
The top tip. I would say definitely do your research. I would say try to contact a stager or a staging company, and see if you can, job shadow them to 2 or 3 or 4 times to sort of see if it's sort of where you want to go, and then just find somebody who can mentor you through the process, and sort of kind of give you some keynotes on which direction and how fast or slow you should sort of, where you should go and where your contacts could be, and just find a mentor. I think that's key.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we have a lot of listeners that are either just a student or getting into the business. They're interested in fashion. They're interested in interior design. So this is really helpful information. Just to shift it a little bit, what would you say are some of the top like furniture or design trends that you see happening for this year?
Well, what I'm seeing a lot is the boucle fabrics, and a lot of the sofas and the chairs, just, and very sort of Art Deco inspired, like lots of curves. We're seeing a lot of that, lots of textures. So yeah, and color. There's a little bit more color. With trends for us, we definitely try to keep on top of the trends. However, we find that with staging, we always start with a very neutral palette. It's sort of the safest way to go. And the way that we can change the look of a space is through art, accessories, and decor pillows. So you could have a simple gray sofa, and maybe we're in a mid-century home, and then we sort of find mid-century art, mid-century furniture. Or we could be in a more traditional home where that gray sofa now has more traditional photos on, pillows and photos. And so that one piece can carry you a long way when it comes to staging. For our show homes and for our more personalized stuff that we do, that gives us more flexibility in terms of being on trend and trying to find something that that the client wants, because it's more custom.
Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, do you ever provide like regular interior design services, not for staging, but to I guess design and furnish a home?
We do not. I shouldn't say we don't do it. It depends on the timing. Right now, we're so focused on the staging, and we do have a division that does styling for show homes, and so that's sort of where our focus is. If we do have time occasionally, we will, but it's not our focus, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned difficulties with supply chain and getting access to some furnitures, these kinds of things. Where do you guys buy most of your furniture? I'd be curious. Is it local? Do you have to get it shipped out to your warehouse?
Yes, we do both. We definitely we stay Canadian, so just because of the exchange rates and the tariffs and all that kind of stuff. We order supplies from back east, so a lot of our suppliers are from Toronto, Montreal, and then we do definitely have a lot of suppliers that are local in Vancouver. So all Canadian.
Wow. And did you say that your space right now is 15,000 square feet and it's too small? Okay, so I'm curious then, what can you fit in that large of a space? I mean, in terms of inventory, for the dollar value of that inventory, how much can fit there?
Well, dollar value, I mean, I have millions worth of furniture and accessories in here, yeah. Like, it's, yeah, it's a lot. It's, and the thing is, honestly, luckily a lot of it is out. So if it all came back at once, it would not fit in here. So the rotation of it coming and going makes it doable for what we have. But I understand, like, the bigger pieces do take up a lot of room. Like the patio furniture section is just a quarter of downstairs, and then we have the social ingredients is just downstairs too, and it's a lot of big modular pieces. So the bigger pieces are downstairs, and then we have like thousands of accessories and pillows and night tables and side tables and coffee tables and bar stools and dining tables and dining chairs and area rugs and art. It's everything. So yeah, but that takes years to build up. That doesn't happen overnight. So
I have a lot of difficulty making my bed in a way that looks presentable. And it's I read a book where you should be making your bed every morning. I do, but it's messy. It still looks messy. What are and then there's like do you put like four pillows? Do you put like four pillows and then all the decorative pillows, and then you're throwing it on the floor anyways at in the middle of the night? So give us some, like, what's a pro trick of yours?
Okay. Well, I would
For that.
definitely start by saying the way we live and the way we stage are two totally different things. Because my bed is not made every day. And every time I finish a stage, I'm like, wow, I wish my room looked like this. So, you know, realistically, we don't live like the way we stage. But if I was to stage or make my bed properly, I mean, for staging, you know, again, we start with, you know, the neutral bed. And, you know, we really want to make it luxurious. Like when you walk into a show home or you walk into a hotel, you want to flop into that bed and you want to make it look comfy, especially your master bedroom. So we definitely layer up, you know, we do like four pillow stuffers, and then we'll do a couple. Sometimes we'll use one big pillow, or we'll use a couple of decor pillows depending on the size of the bed. We usually always do sort of a quilt. Sometimes we'll stuff it so it hangs out in the more luxurious homes, and sometimes if it's more modern, we'll tuck it. We'll do that nice little fold at the end, and we'll tuck it into underneath the mattress. And the most important thing for me, especially for staging, is to make sure it's steamed and it looks clean and it's nice, and that the pillows, one isn't bubbly and the other one's soft and the other one's hard. It should all have the same streamline. We notice a lot of that when we do a lot of these consultations and the families of people are living there. You go into the bedrooms, you know, your partner likes to sleep on one type of pillow and you sleep on another type of pillow, and you know, they're all mismatched and nothing works. So that's when we bring in, we say, okay, this is the most important room. We need to bring in different stuff for here and to make it feel luxurious.
So do you actually stage homes that are lived in, like that are occupied?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's allowed. Okay, I didn't think that was allowed.
We do that. A lot of times what happens when we do a consultation, we'll do our room by room analysis, and we'll sort of get them to prepare their house. So a lot of that means telling them to declutter, you know, depersonalizing their stuff. You know, it also sometimes will suggest, you know, painting the place. You know, sometimes we'll suggest, you know, changing your light fixtures or your hardware, because just those small little things can put value into their house. I mean, I always tell them, you know, it's your biggest investment. You got to put a little time and effort into doing it to get your investment back. We do it when we sell our cars. We detail our cars so that we can sell our car for the best possible price. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you do it to your house? So we do. So we go in, and sometimes, you know, it'll be a matter of, you know, dressing their bed, where we would just put a quilt or something over it so it's easy for them to take off and then they can still sleep in it. Sometimes it's adding artwork. A lot of times it's just mm-hmm. changing out the decor pillows, just freshening them up. So we do that. And then we have a lot of realtors that come in and rent from us to do the same. Like they'll realize that they only need maybe a few accessories, a piece of artwork, or some decor pillows, and then they'll come in and get it from us and do it for their clients as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think being in the industry for a longer period of time now, I definitely understand why design and staging is so important for maximizing value and for giving people that first impression and that feeling, mm-hmm. right? It's creating the feelings when buyers are entering a home. So I guess, because you're the expert, in your opinion, do you have, 5 top best home staging tips for homeowners?
So if we're talking, so I guess we would be talking about occupied properties, people that are selling their house that are occupied. I would go back to that, to decluttering, depersonalizing, fresh paint, bringing a stager, let a stager come in and sort of walk you through the process, so you can get the best value for your property and make it look home show ready, make it feel like you're walking into a show home. And I always say to people too, when there's too many items or too much clutter in a place, that's all people remember when they walk into a place. And when you're selling your home, you're selling your house. You're not selling the stuff that's in it. So if you take all the things that are, that people are seeing, if it's over cluttered, or if there's, too many things, or even if the furniture isn't placed in a way that offers you to have flow as you're walking through the place, then people aren't going to remember. They're not going to remember your place. They're just going to remember the stuff and how maybe they could not fit their stuff in it. When people are downsizing into smaller places, they're like, can I take my stuff with me? Will it fit? And, or, there's new people, new homeowners, a young couple that, you're selling them a lifestyle. Like, you're spending a lot of money in Vancouver for a place, and you're selling that lifestyle of what the potential is and why you're spending so much for it. So I think I went off topic a bit, but
No, you answered it. You answered it, but actually I wanted to go just one step further. Oh, sorry, did you?
No.
Okay. One step further though. So, those are all great tips for anybody that's living in a property and getting it ready for sale. If we were to go one step further and say, what actually would be, in your opinion, the two most impactful areas or ways to showcase a specific space in a home? Like, lots of people spend time in their living room and kitchens, right? It's kind of like the heartbeat of the home. So if you were going with something like that, what would your top two tips be?
100% would be the main area, the living room, the living space. If you're in a house, I would say the main floor, because you walk in, that's your first, that's your first, within, sort of, they say within 10 seconds, they're like, oh, that's my first impression. And especially a lot of the homes are sort of that open concept. So definitely if we're talking about a house, I would say the main floor and the master are the key rooms. And I would still say, even in a condo, like if you're doing a 1-bedroom condo, I would say do the entire place. It's a 1-bedroom. If it's a 2 or 3 bedroom, if the second or third bedroom are a good size, you don't need to spend the money on the second or third bedroom. You need to spend the money on the master. That in the main living space is the key.
And are there any like pet peeves of yours that are design flaws or design wise that you've encountered that is like, no, this is not right?
Well, I'll tell you what my pet peeves in a lot of the places is that for some reason people don't know how to center a pendant light in the middle of their dining room. Like,
that is really irritating.
It's so irritating. Like,
mine. I have one.
Yeah.
Is it centered?
Mine, now that you're saying centering more, it's like, why are people hanging pictures and prints very high, like rather than at eye level?
Yes, they should be at eye level. That's definitely another pet peeve. Another pet peeve is like when also builders too, we're talking about, when they put the plugs, the in the middle of the rooms, or they'll put like stuff in the middle of the walls where you could hang art. You're like, why did you do that? That would be a pet peeve, for sure. And the art definitely is.
We just got started here. Yeah. Roll them off.
Go from here. I mean, I have so many crazy stories that I could tell you about homes that I've walked into and things that I've seen. Like, it literally.
Can you share one?
Yeah.
Share one.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking, okay, so these are occupied homes. So I remember one place I went into, and I walked in, and all of a sudden I start seeing all these dolls. Like, there was just, those old dolls, the creepy dolls with the eyes. And I was like, okay, there's a couple of dolls. I'm like, so my sense, like, usually when I go into someone's house, I like to do like a walkthrough, get to know them, get a feel. People are very attached to their stuff. And when we come in, we always have to say, please don't take anything we say personally. Our job is to tell you how to prepare your house, and the way that you live and the way that you sell your home are two different things. So let's just start with that. So as I'm walking through the place, I see, okay, some dolls. And then I go into the living room and I see some more dolls. And that like creepy dolls, like the old ones you see at antique stores. And then I go up the stairs and there's a whole, literally an entire bookcase like of dolls, like every size doll, like is completely full of dolls. And then I was like, and then I start to realize, okay, this is a problem. And then I go into the other room. And every single room in that house had these dolls. It was not for believing. I was just like, what? So I had to gently tell them, like, this cannot be. You cannot, like, pick your favorite 5 dolls, like your favorite 5 dolls. And even when and then we're going to showcase those dolls, and then the rest have to go. So that was one thing that was just crazy. I have walked into places where I have literally seen a stuffed grizzly bear in the front of the, like in the hall, in the lobby, like not lobby, like in the foyer, where I'm just like, that's scary, so that can't be. If you would like children to walk through the house. There's lots of challenging things too. Like a lot of times people have a lot of religious artifacts, and they have to realize that, when we try to give our advice, we try to say that, we have to be open to every type of buyer. And so that's why a lot of times, that's when we say depersonalize, those are the type of things that we say to do, because sometimes there's shrines, and sometimes, there have been people, like literally, I go into consultations like sleeping on the floors. Like, it's crazy. I've seen it all. I've seen all the clutter, and I've seen it all, and we laugh. It's funny, but it makes me, when I go home, go, you know what? My house is good. My house is good. I don't mind the messy bed, and I don't have any creepy dolls, and we're good. We're good. Yeah. So there was one place we went into too. This is another funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but we thought it was funny. And I was walking in all the rooms, and I was like, why is this water dripping? There's like water dripping in like all these corners of these rooms. So I thought I was doing them a favor by, like, I'm going to wipe off this water. And I found out after that someone had come in to have their house blessed. And this was like, they were spraying every corner of the room. Whatever the water was, this holy water was spraying in the room. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, how am I, what are we going to do? I didn't know that. Like, why did we walk?
I mean, to be fair, they could have given you a heads up about that. That's, if you see water on the walls, you would think, yeah, let's wipe it. What's happening? Is it leaking or something?
Exactly. So, you run into some of those funny things. Not, I guess to them, maybe it wasn't so funny, but like,
so,
I've seen it all.
Absolutely. So out of curiosity then, for our listeners, how much should someone expect to pay for home staging? Now, obviously, homes are different sizes and there's different styles and things like that. But maybe for a 2-bedroom condo versus a 3-bedroom townhouse, and then a 4-bedroom detached house, because you're looking at all the sizes.
So I would say a 2-bedroom. Now, a 2-bedroom is approximately $3,400. But that doesn't. But if there is like a den and an office and a patio, those are kind of add-ons, and that $3,400 includes the furniture rentals, it includes the sourcing, it includes the install, the D-stage, and the mover. So it's everything. A 3-bedroom is around $4,100 plus if you're going to add, like, again, like another den or patio, or maybe there's more bar stools than you think. Maybe some space has more walls that need more artwork. Some places don't. So it varies. It adjusts. And I would say a 4-bedroom house, including an office, is around $5,200.
Okay.
This is the first month staging and the first month
Yes,
rental?
the first month covers everything. And then if it goes into the second month, then there is a discount on the rentals, and it can be paid, it can be prorated. So if it sells the 5th or 6th week, you don't have to pay for the full month.
That's great.
Absolutely. I want to know when your next warehouse sale is.
Well, that's a funny question. That's a TBA because of the furniture shortage. Like, we are not.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We're not selling.
You might need to keep it for now.
Even people ask us when we're staging, will you sell your furniture? And a lot of times we'll sell it, but we can't do it right now because of the shortage. But usually we try to have it once a year. But if people follow us on Instagram or Facebook, we will announce when we're doing it. But for now, I don't have I don't know for sure.
I always look forward to those.
I love those. You can get great stuff.
Great deals, absolutely.
Do you have a few more minutes just to do our little other fun portion, which is the 5 rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay.
What is your latest obsession? So that this could be anything: fashion, music, interior design.
My latest obsession. I'm always obsessed with furniture, so honestly, I am. I'm obsessed with, like, I love going on websites. I love looking at magazines. I'm always obsessed with that artwork. Outside of my business, I would say I'm obsessed with this new donut store that opened up in Chinatown. I'm obsessed with their donuts.
Mellow.
Mellow, yes.
Mellow.
Oh my goodness, the best donuts. So a client brought them in, and we were like, oh my goodness. And I had friends visiting from Nova Scotia that weekend, so I went and got some. And then I literally went back the next day again and got some more.
Yeah. There's lineups all the time.
Lineups obsessed with their donuts.
Yeah.
Do they have gluten-free? I'm allergic to gluten, okay?
I believe
and I
they
am
do.
upset that I can't try them.
You know, I believe they do. I believe they do.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. Thanks,
remember.
ladies. Where do you look for inspiration?
I look for inspiration in magazines. I look for inspiration in show homes. I look for inspiration from other designers, and I look for inspiration from my fellow employees. I look for inspiration from artwork and architecture books and fashion.
What design style or aesthetic speaks most to you?
To me personally, I love. You know what? I ask myself this all the time. If I was to build a house and redesign it, what would it look like? And it would literally be a little combination of everything. I love the Art Deco styles. I love what's out right now, the boucle and the curved furniture. I also love I love a little bit of modern, and I love a little bit of old. Like I love old heritage antique stuff too, mixed with modern. So
I do too.
There's really like the problem with me is just I love a little bit about everything. So what I always say to people, you know, if they're going to design their place, I said just find nothing has to always match. Like pick pieces of things that you really, really love, and you can make it work in your place. You can bring it all together through accessories, through decor pillows. Like when you walk through the door, I always feel like furniture is like your jewelry too. Like what do you like, and bring in the stuff that you like. It doesn't have to all be the same style. It just has to be what you like, and whether it's bright colors, or one room could be bright and the other room could be neutral. And so I'm inspired by all of it, and I like the eclectic look, and I love wallpaper. Love wallpaper.
That's making a comeback too. If there was a famous person that you could work with to design their home, who would it be? This person can be dead or alive.
Like a designer or just anybody?
Anybody. It could be
Celebrity.
anyone in
it
history. It doesn't have to be a celebrity, but
could be
anyone in
like
history.
Who would I want
any character in a movie.
that I would design for, or just work together with? I would work together.
Sure, work together with.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like, let me think. Celebrity. I definitely would say I would have to work with a comedian because I like to laugh. So let's break it down to a comedian. Maybe Ellen DeGeneres. Let's just say that. Because I like her style too. And she's funny.
Yeah.
And I think we'd have a good time working together.
If you're not a home stager, what career would you be in?
Oh, I would be a singer for sure.
No.
You can sing.
Really?
I would be an entertainer. I wish I could sing, but if I could pick that, I would definitely, apply for American Idol if I was, in my 20s again, and I could start all over and I had a good voice, probably. I mean, I went through a few careers before I got here, but I really, truly enjoy this the most. I do.
Fantastic. Well, last question. And Andrea, where can our listeners find you?
They can find us at our location here at Home Ingredients in Vancouver.
Okay, and you're also on IG as well, right? At Home
Oh, they can find us.
Ingredients?
Yeah, they can find us on Instagram and Facebook, and it's all Home Ingredients.
Great.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you sharing some of your top secrets in this business, and as well as some staging tips for our listeners. And again, I'll be in touch very soon. I have quite a bit of developers that are needing your service, so we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. And if any of your listeners need a mentor, they are more than happy. I'm more than welcome to have them give me a call.
Awesome.
Thank
you.